The strategy would be maybe this year is to resurrect the Green Party, okay? And we Hawaiians take over. We could make it a brownish green party. But I think we should start doing block voting in supporting our own candidates for OHA, so that people like Kamanao can get backup from trustees to get the EK.
Yeah.
And we gotta start doing campaigning and registering our Hawaiian voters, get out of Democrat and go into the party of color. And we can make brown and white Green Party letters as the new resurrection on this island, that our Green Party has got to have brown in it too. It's part of the color. Brown and green is earth and okay, in the forest. So I don't know if I can have a little line of blue right in the middle. But I think that would be a good way of trying to get control of OHA, is to have our own people in. So we gotta lobby block voting, and everybody pick somebody from every island, and that's what we concentrate on getting in to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And that'd be our only answer for that part. But strategy, just thinking of how we Hawaiians can have more input. Since we're number 4 in the census, we're equal to Filipinos. So I think our voice is getting lesser and lesser, unless we kind of unite them together to make sense. If not, then we're getting buried with population and progress, and it's compounding itself every year. So we don't do something about it, and we're going to spend the rest of our lifetime, us old activists, busting ass, man. I'm wondering about when do we old timers get together to strategize all our experiences and what works and what doesn't work, and how we can reinforce each other with those ideas about that. So yeah, that's gotta happen. Just thinking about how we're going to get ahead if we don't make these things happen. I don't know what part the university is supposed to be in this, but the universities in other parts of the states, they have a strong voice. Our voice in the Hawaii university is, I don't know, if they just entertain us. Their voice more into entertaining than it is to do more concrete stuff that's important to our kids. I don't know how you get our children involved if it doesn't have good results when you finish. And how you get them started, you gotta get them excited about it. But our Hawaiian kids graduate from Kamehameha and then go into our University of Hawaiian Studies, and they don't graduate becoming activists, then something's wrong, man. You cannot dig up 6 bodies at Walmart and only 12 people come. 6 people. And then you take one howley take a test, Kamehameha school, 10,000 people come. For where's the moral integrity on what's the concern about teaching our children? The moral integrity and all that stuff seems not to be there. When 12 show up for burials, 10 people, and the rest of the Hawaiians don't care. What message are we telling our Filipino neighbor and our Japanese neighbor? That we're a race of people with no integrity. We shit on ourselves in front of other people. And it ain't just our neighbor anymore, the Japanese or Filipino or whoever. Today's, it's the world watch now. Technology, the whole world watching us. And there ain't nothing serious or think serious about what we do. That's why nobody cares. They don't take us serious at all. bullshit.
That's what I call it, Disneyland. I definitely agree with you on that.
Why?
Taking everybody on a ride.
You know, and having the prison system with 4,000 Hawaiian inmates, with 6,000 population, majority of prisoners are Hawaiians, on a 230 million budget for public safety, at 4,000 Hawaiians, that means that the Hawaiian misery is now a big commodity. So what do? Keep misery because it pays off? Hawaiian studies ain't producing any Hawaiians that are morally responsible or think responsible for the traditional practice in themselves, because they don't produce any activists, Hawaiians that are excited about being Hawaiians and want to protect the core of being a Hawaiian. You graduate from there and you don't understand that. You graduate from there and nobody shows up in Walmart for the burials. You graduated there with a degree and they're still digging you up all over the place, killing your resources and calling them some invasive species because it's a pig. What is sacred becomes an invasive species, interpreting their language to desecrate my language to do wrongdoings. So it's a whole interpretation of taking the Hawaiian language and watering it down to be something different. And the schools don't look at that idea or those kind of reasons. They don't even go look at interpretive devices used around the national parks or anywhere talking about Hawaiians. There's so much stuff that's bullshit about Hawaiians. You'd think Hawaiian studies would get on top of that kind of stuff so that you don't read or teach or tell bullshit propaganda crap that depletes or degrades who I am. I don't know what they teach at UH. You know, the charter schools. Oh, charter school. Charter school is like recruit school. It's like boot camp for Hawaiian studies. So the Hawaiian studies always get kids going there and make money. Keep the program going. We teaching our children. You teaching them how to sing, dance, weave a hat, and that shit don't pay bills. And that stuff don't protect your integrity, or your morals, or your burials, or your resources. You know, living on a big island, the resource that feeds our body is the ocean and the mountains, and all in between. But what feeds our spirit is tutupele. So that's where the food for our soul is, in that understanding. And not that it's understood to be something else, somebody else interpreted it to be, but what it's supposed to be. I believe sacredness, you cannot change them around. That's just how it is. I cannot go and reinterpret my opinion or my idea on what the Bible is. Let me go hammer some pages out of there and then give you back the book. I never stop you from praying, brother. But did I alter something in your whole traditional practice that you don't like? Same idea. What, put Buddha on his head? I never stop you from praying, but you'd be pissed off if I did that. Why, on altar something? So how is tutupele and geothermal not an alteration of the same kind of attack? So if the Bible can make better fuel than oil, we'll go burn up some Bibles. They just make up what they feel they like say for their personal gains. And that's bullshit.
Who are you and what you about?
Hank Ferguson,
from the Big Island?
Pali Kapu dinner, the Pili Defense Fund, Big Island.
And if anybody like to know any more about what you're going to be talking about, how may they reach you and you?
Okay, you can reach me at, my phone number is 938-9994, or you can reach me at hankhawaiian@yahoo.com.
Oh, I stay at Pili Defense Fund at gmail.com
Oh, right on.
or 315-9996.
Cool.
Okay.
And so I was asking about this weekend coming up at the Palace, which is going to be April
20th.
the 20th. And I heard it was being put together by some Maoris or some people at Aotearoa.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny coincidence that today we heard from quite a few people at OHA pushing for geothermal that had a relationship with Aotearoans. So, and then this conference coming up on Saturday with an Aotearoan delegate or an elected person in that of Honi that we met years ago at Kaolave doing Nuclear Free Pacific. So, like him and other activists out of the Polynesian islands like that, Tonga, that we met, they all went back and became political heads in their government. So the activism over there, they elevate their activist people. And over here, they suppress the activist people. So, but anyway, he knows and should
We're
know.
in the opposite direction.
Yeah, of course. So, I don't know if you cross the equator or you
Something happened, yeah.
you change in your whole attitude. But so it's just a coincidence, and I think they should realize that the Maoris don't like the idea of their traditions being threatened. So they should be more sensitive to coming out to Hawaii in the name of money to desecrate a belief and a tradition that as long as they think they were on this earth, we do too. And if they think we're supposed to be as cousins, then we gotta act like them. So, I don't know what's going on this weekend with the New Zealanders, but the timing sure sounds suspicious to me. After OHA's looking at Millie and her Murray backup to do a power plant. Just my opinion on what I think this weekend is about.
Well, the stuff that I heard was that a lot of this conversation stems around this fellow named Kai Landau. And he's a Howley boy that's taken interest in the Hawaiian stuff. And he's now taking it up to Washington. He's up in D.C. And he's been out doing what he can for the Hawaiian Kingdom. And we got to give credit where credit is due, because he did try a lot of things. He did put himself in some good places. But I want to share with you a story, a legal story that we got to remember. This has to do with Kamaloa Price. Okay, Kamaloa Price was Mama Loa Price's husband. The son is Chief Maui Loa Price. And anyway, he was at the time working with the whole Hawaiians, and their platform was that they wanted to get the aged Hawaiians on the Hawaiian homelands. And so he was married to Mama Loa Price, who was pure Hawaiian. So he took this case and he took it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it was knocked down with one reason, and this is a very important one to understand, that he was not the injured party, that his wife was, and his wife was not doing the complaining. And so, in as much as like Kai's may be helping or whatever, we have to remember that the injured party is us. You cannot block us from making the presentation. And yes, people can say you represent them, but you're talking about guys in the middle and saying that you represent them. You're not talking about the guys down here. You know what I mean? And the guys in the middle, you have to understand they have a very limited scope of what's going on. They're not in the trenches down here. They don't see what's going on. Yeah? They don't see our kids walking around looking on rubbish cans or begging for bus money. You know what I mean?
Calling the U.S. slaves the mainland when this is our mainland. Just thinking and realizing it.
Yeah, and this whole idea that there's going to be some kind of representation in the UN, for me, I have to take that very lightly. I have to take that lightly from these factors. I mean, we talk about being an occupied country by the United States. Well, I want you to turn around and look at what's going on today. You have the occupied West Banks. This is supported by the United States, so there's not much difference there between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the United States and us. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, let's go that way if it works. Let's take it as far as it works. But the struggle has to come from within. It comes from our own identity. It's our own stuff. That's why it's so important, this idea of a spiritual conference.
Yeah,
when you leave your baggage at home.
You want to bring that up?
Yeah,
as far
I
as
do. Because
what you want to talk? What was it, and where did you
okay,
basically?
well, today we're down at OHA, and we're actually testifying we're actually going to testify against the use of OHA funds for the geothermal projects that was being presented by IDG and Military Trust. However, what it came out to is that what we're missing is a common spirit. You know, we got to put away the baggage. We got to quit acting up about who's who, and so we have fights all the time. Let's find a common ground, and that common ground is that spirit. Because every one of us who started in our own different ways, we started for good reasons. We wanted to help. So it's like, okay, well, look, if we just say that we're going to talk about what did we find, what was the good parts we find, and these are the baggage and so on. Let's not recruit each other yet. Let's talk to each other's now, so we can have a combined now. So when we make moves, to pono, yeah, and we can make moves where you have sufficient information to make correct decision. Yeah, I mean, just because somebody else doesn't think that Peli's a god doesn't mean it's not my god. You know. And like, you know, my interpretation I put today is that, you know, this idea that we should utilize Peli's gifts. Well, if it was a gift, I might understand it. There was no gift there. She was raped, brutally raped, and she's been bleeding ever since. You know, and now you want to take that and spread it all over the place. You know, it's like, and the worst part is that the Hawaiian who fought for this belief of their gods and the right to have their gods, is jumping in a bandwagon to go sell it out like it was nothing. It's like, you know, it's kind of like you saying, well, the girl was raped when she was young and everything, but now a little older, we can all line up, no worry. And it's like, no, that's not how it works, Bob. That's not how it works, especially with you, Hawaiian, because you know better. You know better. You know, this Haole who's just an explorer, he doesn't know these things. But you, Hawaiian, you know. And so, you're the one who's going to get punished, not the Haole, right? But if we would just take these concepts as for real, I mean, it satisfied our needs of our people for thousands of years. How can they be wrong today? Like I said, when did Peli become non-spiritual? When did that happen? You know, when did it you know, I don't know when it happened. All I know is that somehow or another it's displaying itself as a commodity. When you know, when it's like, no, Bob, no. We pray to her all the time. We talk about her. We dig in her. We malama that aina. Hey, Tani. It's my cousin Tani. Come sit with us. How you guys?
How you doing?
Okay, then. Didn't think I'd be back. Pali Kapu, isn't it? This is Tani. So we were talking about what happened at OHA today. And one of the things that came out was that, you know what we have to have? We have to have a spiritual conference. When we talk about the spirit only, not your baggage, not your group, none of that stuff, but where we as a people, how much of this now can we pass now to our children, you know? Because the kids, to me, I mean, all these kids are sitting around, they're not doing anything because they don't know who to believe anymore, you know? It seems so factionalized, and yet...
Well, a lot of things too depend on personal who we are. And like with our family, that's what we start with our children.
Yeah.
Just like my kupunas did with me. And so this is where we drop the ball. Is our personal Juliana. We start, like you said, we start from ourselves and then work out.
I look at it this way, for me it's just a real simple formula. As much as we tried, this is only as far as we got. And right now we're all stuck there. We're standing there, and it's like, I think if we just reevaluate some of the fundamentals, where you want to come from anyway, what made you do this in the first place? What made you go out and find out this information? I think if we start talking about that, we're going to see the better part of each other.
Not only that, a lot of dissension comes from trying to universalize everything.
Yeah.
And my tutus taught me that, like, all historians are correct from where they come
From they stand from, yeah, sure. That's their account.
Because, although universally we have similar standards and everything, but different protocols will vary slightly, yeah. And what is passed down to you is personal experience rather than a collective experience on a broader scale. And I think people tend to hold on tight to that instead of respecting the other person's mana'o from what they were raised with. Because within there's a commonality. If you just look for it, you can recognize it. And a lot of times we grew up with critical thinking, which is very Hawaiian, because when we sit with our elders, you're not supposed to be asking questions and interrupting the conversation. You're supposed to be listening. And then later on, when that's all power and stuff, when you have questions, your tutu will kind of talk to you a little bit. So I think we set too much of a regimen upon ourselves.
Sure.
That's more American than Hawaiian. And if we are cognizant of that, then we're more open, you know what I mean? And then things start to fit in, and then what your mana'o is and what you experience personally and everything, a lot of that stuff all kind of fit together. And instead of fighting each other with, no, it was this way, or no, it happened this way, it kind of...
How about it just happened?
Yeah.
It happened. Here's the results of it. Now what are we going to do about it?
Because like, I used to hear a lot of Hawaiians say, oh, I shame being Hawaiian. And I couldn't fathom that because in my family, we were never raised that way. But I know that there are
Me, I was
some
raised
that
to believe it was bad. I mean, they used to tell me get out of the sun and get black.
Yeah, me,
You know,
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Look, now I'm getting mottled over here because my skin is changing.
Shedding.
Yeah. But I think sometimes we become our worst enemies by holding ourselves up a little bit too high in ideals of being rigid with what we feel and think instead of being a little bit more open to accepting, some variations.
Well, personally, I think that we have to get together. It has to be not too large, but you have to have guys who have differences to sit there and say, besides our differences, this is what we can do. This is what we can offer as a group.
Yeah.
Because the kids are waiting for us. They're just waiting for us. They just don't know who to talk to because we seem to be splintered.
Well, we're victimized by propagandas.
Sure.
So what we were trying to do, we buy into their arguments and their box rather than ours.
You see, this is where it's great because they don't know about our spirituality. We do. Oh no.
Because that's why I
So
say,
we define it.
they always say, oh, the Hawaiians are divided and everything. And they always fighting among themselves and everything. And then I'm stopped to think, I said, that's a human reaction. It's not an ethnic reaction, it's a human reaction. People have difference of opinion and stuff. And buying into all these character assassinations gotta stop. People gotta stop and think.
Yeah.
That's why I bring up the whole thing about the United States got 21 registered, recognized political parties. This doesn't include the special interest groups. Hawaii, we got all these different groups with their platforms and agendas which may vary and have difference of opinion as far as definitions and what have you. And the thing is that the bottom line, when you come down to the bottom line, they all believe they're subjects of the Hawaiian Kingdom. They believe in Hawaii and the independence and the recognized sovereignty that it achieved and everything. But a lot of that is not really taught in schools, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So with these 21 different registered, recognized political parties within the USA, the bottom line, you take them to the bottom line, they all believe they're U.S. citizens. So what's the difference? So are they not getting their act together? Are they, not united? No, because they have that freedom.
So what I did is I
And the Hawaiian
floated that
Kingdom
idea.
had that freedom.
I floated that idea at the meeting, and I actually got them to say that all help put together these meetings. So it's like, okay, we're gonna drop a little plan now so we know how we're gonna move. Okay? And we thought the best way to do it is the whole to present to our kid, to our families, something that makes sense. So it's all right. I mean, I don't care if you fucked up. Quite frankly, we could have fucked up here. I may not agree with you here,
our nation
but that doesn't
perfect.
stop us. That shouldn't stop us. We should talk about it more. Maybe we can adjust our thinking. You know what I mean? Instead of I just have this problem with separation. Everyone wants to do a separate thing, and it's like, how are we going to learn everything about? We come together, you drop your shit down, and then you walk away. You never gain one fucking thing out of that. You know what I mean? You never share nothing. You don't know what the other one is thinking. It's like, no. We need to give ourselves time to think together. Rob, you don't like the conversation today? You can take a 2 or 3 hour nap, no problem. We'll still be at it when you wake up. You know what I mean? Maybe you feel better.
Well,
Join
the
back in
thing
the conversation.
too is to agree.
It's like Ho'oponopono, bro.
Yeah.
With the objective being pono. Okay, and the whole, what you're really doing is you're getting a bunch of people together and say, look, can we agree to this process? Can we agree that if we come to it, we set this thing up in August, say, go along. We set it up, we say, look, the objective is we're gonna commit when we walk in this room. And we're not gonna leave it until we are in consensus. Until we're a pono. And we'll have the support team outside, whoever is going to be supporting. Those who think they can take some form of leadership, step up. And let our children watch this happen. Our kids are dying to see this happen. Our communities are dying to see this happen. Guys are on the fence because who can walk with? Who can walk with? Half of these guys are fucking nuts, you know what I mean? But the bottom line is we all are Hawaiian, like you said. When it comes down to the bottom, we're all Hawaiian. We all started for the same reason. You become owner for this for the same reason.
That's why I love the latest video you did with Mike Lee.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
It was the
and that he was punching the
Yeah.
buttons, the right buttons. It was right there, and a lot of us are all cognizant of it, you know. And some of us may not express it the same way or as clear, but we knew what he was saying and we understood and we agreed because we felt that way.
How long ago did you come to this awareness?
When I was 8,
So what have you done about this awareness since that time?
I
till
was
now?
pretty much on my own because a lot of people were either hila or too indoctrinated. And I was fighting against statehood when I was still in grade school.
Well, this one is.
Yeah,
Because Kaolave was around, I think. It's like the day of the Renaissance period, even though we're late from blacks and
I coined
Chicanos
that word.
and Indians, or the beginning of another thinking.
It's a rebirth.
Well, yeah, maybe the thinking was there, but it never was activated.
Yeah.
And so this group of people did this activation of bringing that awareness.
Right.
And at that time, nobody like mess with the federal government. You were considered a communist. Today you'd be an activist in Guantanamo Bay. But at that time, you were just an activist communist because you didn't want the security of the United States to get threatened by a group of native people saying, you cannot bomb our burial sites, you cannot bomb our religious sites, we're not ancient, dinosaurs are ancient, we are still here, so you got to deal with us according to First Amendment. We have freedom of religion, like every other religion.
And by the way, it terrifies me when you blow my out.
So in
When you think of my
79,
eating.
when that came, I understood and got involved. So that's how far back I understand about fighting for native rights, native rights to resources, protections of resources, protection of spirituality, to have that practice.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of letters throughout my life.
But so in that process, it was on the streets, it
Yeah.
was in the courts.
Me, I wasn't a group follower because some of them get a little bit too radical for me at that tender age, and so I've always learned to walk that tightrope between the two cultures, and I had to use this culture to protect this culture to compete with that culture. So I think a lot of us have gone through that anyway, especially the old timers.
Yeah, and the idea of learning that the blacks go through it, the Chicanos go through it, American Indians go through it. So it wasn't something that we're supposed to be afraid of going through. It was something that our ancestors went through already. We just have to get that psychological understanding that our tutus did it maybe 3 tutus ago, when it was only them that had to deal with the changing, deal with the aggression, the oppression, and then why would we be scared? It's in our DNA already that we would someday be challenged with that attitude, that opinion, that so-called vision or journey. Since we only pass it one time through, I believe that the Ohanes wanted and waited long time, knowing the elements and the odds, that we do not give up that little fire that was all us, that made us for hundreds of years, and not the 60 years of bullshit with monarchy. That was the worst years of our life, when these people came and ran this whole government and ridiculed the outer islands, other Hawaiians, to allow the downtown and the radius around it to be happy, and because they were altering and changing and conditioning to the environment that they lived in, while the outside was not even connected, not even voting for king, queen, 1, 2, or 3, not even being told. But that's just what happened in downtown Oahu. So Oahu started writing our history. For us over there, Middle East, us in Kau, way up, Kauai, Oahu wrote the history. Then they start basing everything on these are the Hawaiians that will destine our future. So today we always get downtown Oahu making decisions, shoot rockets on Hawaiian homes, we'll put military on Hawaiian homes, put radiation plants on Hawaiian homes, put the dumps on Hawaiian homes, and you go, what Hawaiians? No more countries over here? What about our trust? You letting the Hawaiians fall into the cracks? We lead the most in social statistics. The fastest to die off these islands are Hawaiians. Who's gonna take care of that? The rich trusts? Their mission don't say pick up the ones fall through the crack. We gotta go do that. We the one protesting on the street to say, give me one alternative. I don't can live in the alley. I gotta go back to the valley. But why you take away my valley? That's all I get. You taking the water, you taking them over here. Where is our Hawaiian leadership and understanding that we are today, computer, the worst race left on this earth is Hawaiians, the most. If we looked at ourselves as population for the world, we're not threatened, we're endangered already.
Fucking endangered.
In other words, we're already at a point of distinction. And we're going to allow colonialism and all the formulas that make genocide go for that many more years and not sit down and analyze our past and how fucked up it is and how we start patching the bukas from the inside to the out and realize the out is being attacked. So when they teach the Hawaiian to be one Westerner, 8 hours a day, all his life in school, and then they take the environment and alter it to what they're teaching, your consciousness starts to adjust to the development of what you're learning, because outside is complementing your consciousness. So we grow up like that, accepting all of this concrete and not looking back at ourselves anymore. And there are some that do. We look down upon them like Christians look down upon other religions. We start to dissect ourselves to spirituality. Materials is like we give up on that one. Some get, some no more, but they stuck in the material world anyway. So now we go after the spirit. The last thing that the Hawaiian get. Let's go inside and take that and alter it to a whole different understanding. When saying, brother, you got the Ike of thousands or hundreds of years of your ancestors flowing through your blood, in your bones, and you cannot ever be responsible to allow that to be taken away. You have to be that understanding of who you are and proud enough of where you live amongst the world that we look at today and feel very fortunate that I come from this kind place, this kind people that no more nothing pilau about them. Nothing. Okay? So why do I want to give up all of that and welcome something that has a worse track record in the world? The worst. And allow that to say, okay, we took you outside, now you can take my inside. What are we be? Like an endangered bird, every generation losing one feather at a time, so that now we just get on bird body? We don't have any purpose. That's what's happening, piece at a time. And it's almost power already of being too focused in ourselves. Or to say, wow, if I feel this way, I gotta do something about it. And it ain't to keep it to myself. Because if I feel this way, that's how my ancestors felt. And they never kept it to themselves. What my tutu taught me is what the whole community was doing when she grew up. Okay? Was understanding that we don't need to tell each other what food to do. We're all on the same line. Okay? Yes, I get responsibility. My family do lao, and that's all we do. My family do this, that's all they do. Fine tune, fine tune, fine tune, fine tune. Wow, you got the best community. Meaning everybody. Nobody can be different. Everybody important. You're a piece of this. I want to learn that from my tutor. I want to learn about how sacred Pele was when they go up Halimau Mau during the eruption time. And see
the difference in their personality, how they feel, look in their eye from your everyday life. You know how they stay. You see them already. You know when they're mad, when they get something for say, you can tell already. But when they go see Tutu Pele, different. So I know the importance, how they feel about that spiritual component. That yeah, the world's changing around. I'm trying to slow it down, but I'm not going to lose this. Okay? Because that is what I had to inherit. And inherit, and inherit, and inherit. Because that's who you are. So each time we take a piece of our identity and throw them away, we fucking up big time. So why isn't the University of Hawaii the most highest educational place in the world today on Hawaiians? Not producing Hawaiians that love themselves. Where is our moral integrity? 101 even taught that we respect one another. The traditions may be different. You may be westernized, I may be traditional. But why we don't yield to one? The world watching. Why we ridicule for the white man? The world watching. Not only the world, our kids. So what? They're going to sit there and look and say, that's how we're supposed to act? That's why on the holiday yesterday at the county building, we went down and give testimony on how they tell me, gee, you old timers, I see you guys here for years. Where the kids? I give you guys credit. It's the holiday saying. He's a protester himself, environmentalist kind, hang around the county. Always seeing us talking up there on Hawaiian issues to our county council. He told that yesterday, I think to myself, where are they, man? Why isn't it honor enough for them to grasp? What was the Renaissance power? Did everybody become happy? Did everybody get comfortable? Or was it just a fad in the wind? That, hey, jump on the fad, it's got big news. Then after, the wind blow, what? Nobody stay. Digging up the EV Walmart, 12 people come. One holiday take test camp school, thousands show up. Where the hell's the moral integrity of the Hawaiians? Are we showing everybody in the world we don't give a shit about Tutu? We don't care about our EV? That's you. The EV is there for you to see how you're going to be treated. And if you're not that smart as a Hawaiian to see that, then they're going to dig you up.
That's why I go be cremated.
But that's not bad, you know, cremate. I don't mind, but sometimes they throw the shit love boat in the water. So, if you're out in the ocean, hope you're not in the love boat terrain. You'll get third water, or they call it third degree.
Well, we've been trying for years to try to pull the opio in our gatherings for the longest time, you know? And it's only been recently that we've been getting some that show up, and it seems a lot more now than before when we first started to try to pull them in.
You know, at the movement time back then, the movement was a grassroots one. I met more farmers and fishermen throughout the islands, Kanewanis and Tutus that run the farms and the taro patches at the beginning of the movement. Then it slowly went into the academic side. And all of a sudden, the grassroots people weren't invited back into Kaolave or back into the movement. The academics was the one, students coming now, teachers coming in there, expanding our programs and making boot camp recruit schools, which I call charter schools. Okay, because they get them ready for Hawaiian Studies program. So Hawaiian Studies program get a good budget because you got all these kids trained headed that direction. But when they graduate, nobody show up at Walmart. So the highest teaching produces these kind of Hawaiians. So if I send my child there, I know how deprived it will be because the teachers that are so comfortable there got a ceiling on their head.
Palau Lokati is a different kind of charter school.
Well, you know, how long have they been around? And then you start to think, is that time enough to make differences? I mean, when you see eager children in the world and teenagers protesting at their homes because crisis is so close. They're running in the streets as children. How serious do we get about our statistics when we're the first high suicide teenage, the most to die with hereditary diseases, the most with heart disease, 20% houseless? How do we get on these social statistics, the majority in prison, 60%? How do we not look at this and say, now, when we're going to teach our kids, is it all about sticking your toes in the lorry? Is it all about sitting under the tree and leaving a la hat? Is it about learning Hawaiian language and chanting? Stand by one gate with a lock. Chant all you like. Talk Hawaiian all you like. That lock not going to open. They'll tell you you ain't going fishing or you ain't going hunting. So, is that the importance of our children to learn language? It almost doesn't have any meaning
Kalaulokahi does a lot more than
than
that.
conversation.
Kalaulokahi is not a lot more than that.
Yeah, you know.
They have the reputation of having their students being active.
Yeah.
They
But
go-
you could, see, I'm looking at the big picture, bro.
Yeah,
If you're talking about just your class, I mean, compared to 200,000 Hawaiians out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where my head stays. Not all the little things that's trying to make it right. Just look at how long it's going to take to make it right. And does it really worth it for the child at the end to learn all this righteous stuff, but nothing to act in? No place to go with it. Nothing to use as implement for it. Because we never saved nothing. The water is polluted. The water, why are we paying for a glass of water? That's our birthright. Why is it at 10% less this year than forever? Because we really own the water, they own the pipe. So we 50-50. Right? So let's go 50-50. Then why are you getting one bill? Isn't that a human necessity? Is it in the word Hawaii? The word white? I mean, why with all that identity that we gotta pay? How do you answer to the children about these kind of things? That basic human necessities we don't have control of in our own house. It's like telling you, you get this house, but I'll go come in, run your water. I'll go come in, turn on your electric when I feel like it. Man, what? It's my house. And if I don't pay, I don't leave.
What is that?
How bad is that? So where is that interest about the basic necessities? Education, housing, water, land. Basic necessities. I never screamed on bank. Just these basic things. So they want them to Hawaii by 50%. Tell you 49 and under. Sorry you're born that way, but we're going to discriminate against your ass, and you ain't getting any.
Discriminated against us.
Okay.
59.
Oh, wait. The Howdy boy ain't gonna get in school. We go file one soon. But look in the 49, file 4. How come the Army get? Military get? You don't get go down 25%. You get plenty then if they can get. Lucky. What about ceded land? You don't get open them up for the 25 and under, 49 and under, make another Hawaiian homes number 2. Okay. You get one tank, bro. You get one tank, we give you land. You get one jet, direct bomb, we give you land. But no, not for your human necessity. Not for you to stay Hawaiian in Hawaii, please. Hell no. When does that really come to something we're supposed to talk about? Why is it always hidden under the glitter that we don't talk about our social life and how it's really affecting us and how we need alternatives and how spirituality can be that healing alternative? Why? Because that's all we get left. So I figure if we all put it together, it might come a little bit stronger. And for those who know more too much, they can feel their thing. And for those who get planted, can give you the thing. So bring all the spiritual people together. Let's start talking about protecting spirituality now. Now, Christian church get together. They get all kind of conferences talk about their spirit. Why can't we do that? And make the spirit understanding to government and say legislative bill, yeah, this is what we want a bill to pass as law. So our kids don't need to kick the same stone anymore. Okay? We're gonna make this understanding that spirituality has to be respected in the Article 12, Section 7. How do you add something to that Constitution? How do we get more on that page of blue books? They get thousands of pages, 2 rows, and then the other 2 rows is the gray books with the red label, and that's federal laws. State statute laws, we get 1 paragraph. Article 12, Section 7. One few piece of paper. How we add more to that, or do we have rights to? How do we feel strong enough to add words to that? How do we empower ourselves to make a difference? Why are we so carrying on this oppressed? Why is oppression becoming comfortable? Psychological oppression. Psychological oppression not coming. It's plain a fact. I don't understand.
You really want to smoke this?
No, go ahead. Oh, look at this.
I was going to discard them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mahal.
It's not with us when we run up there.
Ah, it's all G with me.
Yeah.
We call you
I don't know
to
when.
take crutch too.
I don't know when that'll happen. But it needs to be. American Indians understand it. And the howlers understand it faster. I get more howlers when I talk. Got the picture so fucking clear. The Hawaiian is like this all the time. They said, you know, if I did that to my grandma, I get cracks. When she talk to you, you don't go like this. She's tired. Okay, why you do that to me? I'm talking about what they say, not about really what I say. That's the voice and story of the dudes. I'm just a tool right now, mouthpiece. But that's them talking, so no one like this. If your own grandmother, you wanna get naked. Now I gotta stop.
My
Yeah,
great-grandmothers,
Hawaiian.
both of them had signed the food.
You just have to listen, and they were to the point. They never beat around the bush. Was not time, no more time for that. You know, for Hawaiian that was unnecessary. Dilly dally or really around. You get expression for that, and that wasn't one good one.
Yeah.
That means you're not doing shit really around.
Yeah.
This one. So when you hear that, you know you're wrong already.
The connotation Hawaiian time.
So we really cannot do that with our lives anymore, if we seriously think about it. We need to empower ourselves to be, even if you're the last Hawaiian, that's your obligation. Your obligation is not necessarily rights. Yeah. It's a responsibility. Being one Hawaiian. You're responsible. And if you know more, then you gotta teach more. Not around, more. And if you can move things up a notch, that's how it's supposed to be. If you can empower our children, if you can empower children to be proud of who they are and instill pride and dignity, and at the same time you have to defend pride and dignity, then you're a good teacher. Because they gotta see you defending what you teach and not just teaching. And that's what needs to be done to me, is that we don't have enough spiritual people defending spirituality. They keep it to themselves. That's only me and my la'au. It's only me and my lome. It's only me and my halal with medicine, or halal with dancing, or lua. They always get one place for spirit. So they understand it. It's about how you defend it. You know, if it gets attacked, you gotta somehow don't make like Christians. Oh, that's a Catholic issue. I'm a Protestant, so I don't look.
Oh yeah?
We look into that. That's Hawaiian
No shit,
spiritual
huh?
believers. We gotta support one another because it was one. You know, we just take it to our places that we use them, but it's still one. So when one gets attacked, We have to be in solidarity
thanks,
to
sir.
protect it.
Okay, guys. Hello.
The whole philosophy of it, because that's all we are.
She got
Look
it.
at Tons of Gods. It's just us that make
Maybe
that
they
a
got the
reality.
money.
So if the
I
kids
kinda
see
thought so.
how serious it
Hey,
is,
again, you have
that
to
you
look
gotta
at
protect
who's
that,
the strong arm.
then that's how they should go.
And this
But
is
if not,
something
we'll
with
be like everybody
these
else.
multi
just dancing
corporations
around,
that were
good time,
basically already
doing,
put up with hate
you
that.
know, just doing Hawaiian,
That
trying to
was
make ends
swimming the
meet.
waters.
And
This is
killing
the
themselves.
results.
They don't know it. That's the genocide. The little formulas that create this statistic.
So Kai just called and said $1 million and got it.
She got her grant?
Mm-hmm.
What was the vote? All right, then so we're talking litigation. I guess Robert Klein, his lawyer sitting right there, told him, Judge Klein, that's the AG, told him that I don't think there's anything he can stand on as far as a contested case. So they got legal advice probably.
Well, I think they're wrong. I think we have a lot to stand on.
But there's been poisoning all the people down there with the one they got now.
Yeah.
So these Hawaiians, like make a company down there, geothermal company, they're gonna be killing the neighborhood. Plus the desecration of belief, you know, spiritual belief. So one place you don't control rubbish, but it's okay to do and jewelry. Sacred geography is what Hawaiians understand, not site specific.
And for me, that
That's
tells me even
Christianity.
more why we gotta move on this spiritual conference.
Yeah, because if we're gonna file a lawsuit on those things, it'd be nice to have a bunch of spiritual people, because I got the lawyer that would take this case against OHA, that they're not upholding their constitutional obligations, and that's through traditional beliefs also. So if you're putting in money to a desecrated traditional belief, then I think you gotta argue that in court.